Hello my lovelies and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm sewing a hack to a super cute and super easy clutch that I've made the other day. I've found the Harvey clutch on Etsy and I had to have it like right away. It's super easy, it has a cute color blocking effect on both sides, which I absolutely loved. So I've made this the other day, probably took me less than an hour. I didn't interface anything because I used cork and waterproof lining, so between not interfacing anything and the super easiness of the pattern, I think it took me less than an hour. So I've decided to make this clutch again today, but I'm gonna hack it to have zipper pockets. So I'm gonna have a zipper here and I'm gonna add a zipper to the back, so it will have two zipper pockets on the outside, and it will fit the phone for sure. I have a 11 Pro Max, so it's one of the big ones, and it fits right now in the clutch without any issues as it is right now, but I want to add more stuff to it. So I figured if I had the zippers on the outside, the phone would still fit, but you know me, I can't live well enough alone, so I decided to not only hack it to add the two zippers, which probably would have been enough. I've also enlarged the pattern to 115%, I think. So that's why you might see my pieces looking a little bit bigger than the original one. But obviously, if you want to do this, just follow the same technique as I'm using right now, and just cut the pieces as instructed in the tutorial, that at 100%, and it will be this size. So this is how big it is, so you have a visual. It's not small, but it's not very big. So I'm going to and this one I didn't add the wrist because I didn't want it like a wrist. I just want to put like sewing stuff in it. On the one I'm going to make today, I'm going to add two D-rings on the side. This way I can put a strap to it if I want it, not just a wrist. I'm not a fan of wrist clutches. I mean, I don't wear them. I like them, but I don't wear them. I don't find them practical for my personal style. So I'm gonna add two D-rings on the side and use one of the million straps I already have in pre-made from other bags. So without further ado, let's get started. So what I did, I cut my color block pieces. These are the color block pieces, piece A and B. I cut them from woven and glitter vinyl. So this is gonna be one side, the backstitch pixie sketch panel, and glitter vinyl from my embroidery. And for the other side, I used glitter vinyl and like the Epcot ball from Hissy Fit, both woven that I've interfaced with woven interfacing. So this is gonna be the outside where the zipper will be. You don't need, if you stick to 100%, you don't need to make any modifications to the pattern. So you cut those pieces as instructed. Now what you're going to have to add, the pattern calls for two zipper ends, zipper tabs. I cut 6 because I have 2 extra zippers. And I also cut mine at 1.25 because I'm using Zipper by the Yard number 5 size, so it's 1.25 the width. It's not just one. The pattern piece has the zipper as 1 inch, which is for number 3, I think. So mine are 1.25, and I got 6 of them instead of just 2 because I'll have 2 extra zippers. It's 2 per zipper. Then I have my fleece as per the pattern. I'm not sure I'll add that yet. I have my 2 D-rings for the sides. I'm gonna use 1/2 inch. And I also have my 2, this is a pattern piece in the pattern. If you've enlarged your pattern, don't enlarge this. Keep the way they are. The wrist and wrist connector, wrist strap connector don't need to be changed. So I'm doing 2 because I want 1 on each side. And then of course 2 zipper pulls, my zipper, and the lining is a pattern piece. It's piece, the one on fold. piece C in the Harvey clutch. You cut those just per the pattern. I'm using waterproof canvas from Walmart. And then the extras that you need to cut for the zipper is the pocket lining for the zipper, which is going to be made of, I've made mine with waterproof canvas. So this is going to be on the inside of the zipper. Now, you could add an extra layer of waterproof canvas if you want. This way the inside of your zipper will be like this. I personally don't care if this wrong side of the zipper shows on the inside, so I'm gonna leave it just the way it is right now. I don't want to add an extra layer, and honestly I think I ran out of waterproof canvas, so I'm gonna skip one extra layer of inside. I'll explain to you as I go what I mean by that. I want to reduce the bulk on the seams as well. So that's pretty much all the modifications you need. You just need 2 extra pieces of lining for the pockets, for the zipper pockets. Obviously cut mirror images. And with the same pieces as you've cut this. Easy peasy. Alright, so let's get working on the first panel. And I have zipper by the yard, so I'm gonna need to cut that. This is 7 inches, so I'm gonna cut it at 6.5. This way it doesn't go all the way to the end, to the top and to the bottom, so it doesn't create too much bulk. Mine is a little bit bigger than the regular 100%. As always, links to everything that I'm using will be in the description of the video. So, just like any other zipper and that we've done before, fold it in half, wrong sides together, and then you fold it one more time. I'm just doing a little finger press. So it looks like this. And I'm going to put it not all the way to the end. Actually, I will put it all the way to the end. And you know what I forgot to do, right? Definitely not the first time. How many of you were screaming at the screen, put the zipper pull? Alright, so for my Edna mode part, I'm going to use sewing machine pull. All the hardware that I'm using today, and pretty much always, are from Wizardry Stitchery and Crafts. The website is geekyhardware.com, and you can find them on Facebook. And as always, I'm going to link the zipper basic video that I made last month, I want to say, as part of my MCR Basics series. so we can talk about the zippers. Okay, now we have a zipper pull. I'm going to add my other zipper end the same way. So I'm just pressing wrong sides together, bring in the fabric and push the zipper inside. So I've created my zipper ends. Beautiful. Alright, so the zipper is now added, and we need to add it to the pocket. So right sides together, place your zipper vertically and stitch it with a 1/2 inch seam allowance, well, a 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. Just realized that I think I want my pocket to open upwards. So let me just flip this. If you have a preference how your zipper will open, make sure you lay it the way you want to. If you don't care, then it doesn't really matter. But I think I want my zipper to open this way, which means I need to lay it with the zipper going up, which means I need to lay it like so. No big deal. And because I cut the zipper tape a little shorter than the raw edge, you will have some at the end, and that's perfectly fine. It will just reduce the bulk. I forgot to give you my disclaimer. I am not a professional bag maker. I sew for fun. I sew for myself. I don't sew to sell. So you're winging it with me. When you join my channel, you're sewing with me and learning as I go too. Learning with me as I go. So my videos are not meant to replace any videos from any pattern designers. Like I always say, I'm just showing you that it can be done. It can be done even if you're a beginner. So I'm sewing right on top of the first stitch line, the lining right sides together. Beautiful. Alright, and now I'm gonna go ahead and top stitch because I cannot seem to make myself take my unicorn main sewing string from Wizardry out of my machine. Everything needs to be top stitched at all times so I can see this beautiful thread in action. Alright, so now we're going to repeat the exact same steps for the other side and the back of the bag. Well, back. The other side of the bag. So now take your piece from this side and you're going to be sewing it the right sides together, like so. basically everything that we've just done on the other side. Move your zipper pull away. I'm excited to see if my vision actually comes to life. It may be too early in my bag making career to start making hacks to pattern, but I just couldn't help it. I figured, why not? I'll give it a try. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. It's just fabric and I've learned something. Alright, so I'm going to sandwich my right side of the lining to the right side of the glitter vinyl and stitch it down. Anybody else a messy sewist like I am? I do pride myself in the fact that I don't like a messy sewing area, like sewing room. Like after every project I do clean my room, and I don't like to start a new project if my room is not clean. But while I'm working, as you can see, it's a mess. Alright, so let's go ahead and top stitch. If you're sewing this on your domestic sewing machine and you're using glitter vinyl, take a look over my basics on how to sew vinyl with a sewing machine, and I give you a few tips on how to make sure that you don't get too frustrated and you have your ducks in a row, let's put it this way. Alright, so now this is the outside piece that we've created right now. With the regular pattern, this would have been just sewn together. Now with this hack with the zipper, this basically replaces the step, the first steps in the regular pattern where you sew the two pieces together and you create this piece. This will now be one solid piece. You could cut one extra lining and sew it like so, but I don't want to do that. I don't want to sew any lining because I don't mind. I really don't mind if I have this shiny part. Like, what do you call this? It's different. See? It's not the canvas part. Like this shiny part, I don't mind this, and I'd rather not have extra bulk. So I'll just leave it the way it is and just use this piece as a regular piece. So let's go ahead and repeat all the steps that we've done here, but on the other side. Well, I am back we have finished the front and the back with the zippers, and in typical Alex fashion I actually changed my mind and I decided to line it after all, to line the pockets. So I'm going to do just that. I went ahead and cut from the backstitch panel a lining. I just took this piece and cut a piece of woven the same size as this, and I added my fleece to the back. I fused my fleece to the back. And I did the same thing for my epcot side. Again, I used this pattern piece, lay it on woven and just cut around it, and now I can line my pocket. So basically you can just baste these two together to create your front piece. So let's do that. You can just pin them if you want, but it's easier if you baste them. And I also added my fleece to this part. So I'm gonna go ahead and do a quick baste around it. And as you can see, the layers are multiplying very quickly. So that one of the reasons I used woven for the lining was to keep the layers to a minimum, the thickness of the layers to a minimum, as best as possible. Again, you could have left the pocket unlined and you would have seen the back of the lining. So if you don't mind seeing the back of the lining inside the pocket, then you were good to go. You didn't need to do this. I decided, because I'm using an industrial machine, so the bulkiness doesn't really bother me that much, I've decided to line it. But if you didn't, you can just omit the steps that I'm doing right now, and inside of the pocket you would just see the back of the lining. So now it's like this. The pocket. Okay, I'm gonna do the same thing for the other side. Just baste all pieces together. So I have 3 layers right now. If I have them basted, it's gonna be easier to make sure they're staying together when I add the zipper and finish the bag assembly. And now that I look at it, I think I could have just stayed with the 100%. I don't think I needed to enlarge the pattern. Now I'm thinking it might be a little too big. I haven't done a trial run, so this is my trial run for the oversized pattern. This one is the regular size. Alright, so now it's all basted together. Got some extra that were cut incorrectly. Alright, so now this will be your main piece, and now you have your lining, and now we're going to stitch the pattern as if nothing happened. So from this point on, this is the front piece, this is the one, well, or the back piece, and we're going to be stitching the pattern just as it's instructed in the tutorial. So let's start by creating the rings. I'm just folding 1/4 inch inside on both sides. This is going to use a 1/2 inch D-ring. If you want to use, instead of the 1/2 inch, if you want to use 1 inch D-ring, you'll be cutting this twice as wide and folding in 1/2 inch towards the center instead of 1/4 like the pattern calls for. This is using smaller hardware. Oops. Don't forget, if you've basted, to go back to your small stitch length. And there are markings on the pattern pieces where to add your connectors. Alright, so let's slide the little connector. And like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, I'm going to add 2 of them, one on each side. And now that I've seen how big I made the bag, I'm definitely keeping with the 2 connector strategy. Alright, so I have a connector place right here. See the strap connector? But since I've enlarged it, it's probably a little lower than the regular pattern would be. So I'm just going to add it maybe like this. I don't want it too low. And this will be the zipper. I have 1/2 inch. Huh? Oh, I don't know. About there. Okay. This is how undecided I am. I'm going to add this to this front and stitch them in place. I'm not going to be making the wrist option, the wristband thing, but if you want to make it, in the video that I've uploaded, I think last week or the week before, for the Marilyn by Mass Pattern, I'm showing you how to make that strap. It's the same technique. I just don't need another one. And same thing for the crossbody. Like for the crossbody straps, I have so many, and I have a lot of them that are just black, so I'm just gonna use those if I want to with this bag, because they all have that swivel clasp. I can change them from one bag to another, so I don't have to make them with every single bag. My only concern, and we'll see how it goes, is with all the layers being very bulky, but we'll see. We'll figure it out. So tiny. This is so tiny. Alright, so now I'm going to add it to the other side the same way. Just fold it in half. You can also rivet it if you want. And let me do a little marking here because I'm going to put it on the other side. Okay. So it will be right like so towards the inside. And this is where we have a lot of layers. So if you're using a domestic machine, you might want to consider doing these connectors with woven instead of like vinyl to reduce some of the bulk. let's add the zipper. So I believe the pattern does give you the zipper measurement, but since I've enlarged it a little bit, I'm going to have to cut my zipper. I just measure it and leave a ½ inch on each side. So now I know that my zipper needs to be this big. Again, if you didn't make any size adjustments to the pattern, I think it's in the pattern, the zipper measurement. So I'm using a third style pull because why not? This one is such a cute bow. I wasn't sure what to use it for, but now I think this is the perfect little pouch for it. So now I'm just sewing the back as it was instructed in the pattern. I'm not making any other changes. Perfecto. All right, if I can find my zipper tabs, there they are. We're going to add the zipper tabs the same way as I did before. I do believe the pattern gives you a different method, but I find this one easier. To just fold a couple of times and just stitch. I do think it will turn out quick. Once I get past the bulkiness, when I finish sewing it, we'll see. I think the end result will be very, very cute. Okay, same thing on the other end. And you have to decide which way do you want your zipper to open, towards which side. So right now, if you've watched my Marilyn clutch tutorial that I've done last week or the week before, you'll see that the technique is absolutely the same. So right now we'll be sewing the pouch in the exact same manner as we did before with the Marilyn pouch. All right, so this is, I think I want my zipper to go this way. So make sure that I leave ½ inch on each side. And we're going to be attaching the zipper right now exactly the same way as we've attached the other two zippers in this bag. What is going on with the tension of my bobbin? Go slow where you have the extra bulk. I love that in this pattern the fleece part, the fusible fleece, is smaller than the pattern piece. Definitely helps reduce the bulk, because we have so many layers right now. Alright, so let's start creating the butterfly, like I said before. And if you find that the lining is a slightly shorter than the main, it's because I've used a number 5 zipper. If you use the number 3 zipper, that shouldn't happen, but because mine is wider, then the seam allowance would have been in the collar blocking here. The lining is a little smaller than the main, but that's okay because it will just pull taut, which I love. I didn't want to modify the lining too. I just want to leave it the way it was in the pattern. Don't forget to stop at the ½ inch mark. Start ½ inch away, stop ½ inch away from the edge. Same thing when you top stitch. And this will be the moment of truth, because now when I top stitch, I'm gonna have so many layers here. It's not even funny. But hey, it's gonna be worth it in the end. Because I think the maximum number of layers is when you top stitch, when you turn and stitch the seam allowances. If you want to make this hack for you on a domestic, maybe skip the vinyl and use woven. So cute! It is starting to turn out as I envisioned it. I am very happy. Alright, so let's do the same thing on the other side of the zipper. Move your zipper pull away. Okay, and again let's do the butterfly, the big butterfly. We're going to sandwich the lining right sides together with the other side. And again, you might notice that it's a smidge smaller. That's fine. It's because of the size of the zipper that I used. No big deal. This was the last bit of my waterproof canvas, and my Walmart doesn't have it anymore. I was not a happy camper. I need to look at a different Walmart, because theirs was a good price. Alright. Let's top stitch carefully and slowly. And this butterfly. And then go slow. You have a lot of layers here. Beautiful. Last step, we're going to assemble the bag. by sewing the sides together. The pattern follows a 1/2 inch seam allowance. And where you have your connector, the D-ring connector, go over it a couple of times. And again, go slow when you move from the lining, the main to the lining. I'm gonna repeat on the other side, same thing. You have lots of layers here. Give your machine a chance and go slow. You might need to hand crank it, and that's okay when you get to the part that's going from a lot of bulk to just the lining. In my case, not even lined the lining because it's waterproof canvas. So you're going to a very thick layer to a very thin layer with your machine. So make sure that when you go through this transition, you go slow. I'm going to sew the bottom closed on the main part, and on the lining part I'm going to stitch about 1.5 inches on each side and leave this part open because that's what we need to turn the bag. Okay, and I do like to leave a big opening. I find that it's much easier to turn a bag. A lot of layers here. Go slow. Before we turn the bag and stitch the opening closed, let's make sure that we create the 3D effect by opening the corners like so and stitching them down with a 1/2 inch seam allowance. Now this is bulky. This is going to be a fun sew. This is really bulky now. So on a domestic machine with vinyl, I don't know how much it will like it. And you're going to be repeating all these steps . Four times. The only rough part will be on the main part. The lining, it's gonna be easy. But hey, we did it. So let's do the same thing on the other side, on the lining part. Just creating the 3D effect from the two pieces. And make sure that the seam allowance goes in the same direction on both sides. Now through the opening, I'm gonna grab the main part and we're going to birth our bag. And if everything looks good, we're going to close the opening. But first we need to verify and re-verify that all stitches are correct. So we don't close it and then reopen it to fix any errors. I love that this bag has color blocking on both sides. This is what I wasn't sure. Let's poke out those corners. It is not perfect, but it is also my first attempt, and I've used glitter vinyl, so because you know me, I don't like to try things that are easy. I could have used the regular vinyl, or see this one, this corner I want to redo. I don't like how it looks. But I want to check if there's anything else I need to do again. Oh my goodness, it's so cute. I don't like this corner either that much. I feel like I went on the diagonal instead of going flat. But it's an easy fix. Yep, perfect. Like my phone fits on just one side. So that's what I'm thinking. I could have did it the same way as this one, the same size, and I think it would have been just fine. This is a little bigger, but oh, I'm so happy I have two spots. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and fix my corners here. Just make sure that they're a straight line. Close my bag. And alright, my lovelies, I went ahead and seam ripped my corners to make sure I do them properly. I squished them crooked. So I seam ripped both of them and restitched them properly. Easy fix. Not fun to seam rip vinyl, but an easy fix. So now I'm probably gonna go add a couple of rivets here, maybe, I don't know, just to hold this tighter in place. This would work great as a little like hip bag or fanny pack, as we used to call it. Now we call it hip bag because it's hipper. It's super cute. Or you can put it, wear it like a crossbody, or use it just as a pouch, and it's full of zippers now. So Again, this is the Harvey pouch by Purple Raven Designs. I'm gonna link the pattern in the description. This is the original size. This is the size that the pattern comes in. And now I'm thinking, like I said before, I should have just stuck to the original. I don't think I needed it to be this bigger. This is at 115%, and I had to make sure that the pages fit, so it was more complicated to get the pattern pieces. And now if I do it again, I would definitely keep it the original size and just add the zipper. I feel like it's plenty big. And the phone, my phone fits, actually it fits on one side, so I have this pocket area still open. And then there's another one on the back. You can put a wallet or something. And then there's a big pocket inside. I love it. I love how it turned out. Like, if you don't want to carry a lot of things to the park, you can definitely wear it like a little fanny pack or hip bag. So thank you so much for sewing with me a modified Harvey clutch by Purple Raven Design. Thank you for subscribing and for turning on your notification. I do see the comments and I appreciate it. They make me so happy. I don't sell these bags. I don't do this for anything but to encourage you to try something new, sew something that you like, and don't be afraid to try. It's not perfect by any means. Look at this stitch right here. It is not perfect, and I'm not ashamed to show it to you. But you think I won't wear this? Oh, I will wear it and love it and enjoy it, because one, I made it, two, it's custom. Nobody has a bag like mine. So do try and sew and treat yourself to something that you've made, and don't be intimidated. Take it one step at a time, and if there's any patterns you would like me to show off in my videos, by all means do comment in the section below, and I will talk to you guys in my next one. Bye.